Alright, hey YouTube, this is a video about my new speakers. You see down there just barely, it's a large Sony bookshelf speaker, is the one I used to use down there. And it's hooked up to this Kenwood, it is, kind of, sort of. Those used to be hooked up to the stereo right here. And underneath there, you can't see, there's another Sony stereo. And those both went out. They stopped working. I bought the Sony stereo off KSL. It was good. Then I started using the other stereo that we had because Mom said I could use it because I wanted good big speakers for my computer. Just so they would sound good because I edit video, I mean. And then after that, when I was editing Airborne Death, I wanted good sound. And I was kind of thinking, could I maybe use, what would I have that would have good sound? Because those other two were not working for a while. But then, what was really cool and ended up happening is one of my stepsisters was getting rid of her Harman Kardon sound system, so like really high end. And we've got that hooked up to the TV currently in the family room. But because she was giving us that for free, then it meant that this was available now. And I said, hey Mom, can I take this and use it? And I explained why I wanted to have it now instead of waiting for the other one to come. And she said, okay. So I used that plus those speakers. But then recently it's been going in and out, kind of. Like, sometimes one speaker doesn't work. Sometimes the speakers sound pretty bad. Like, I was editing a video that I had recorded from just my camera, and the audio sounded really bad. And I'm like, did something happen to my camera? The audio sounds pretty bad. So I put in my headphones, and it sounded just fine. So it's these speakers, and every once in a while, that port has issues. So, yeah, now these speakers here are IBM speakers. I don't know the name, but they're from an Aptiva computer. I got it from my grandmother when we went on the trip. After we got back, I decided, I would kind of be nice to have those because I forgot to, I forgot to grab them when I left. So I've got them here. I've looked online. They're kind of rare, and there might be a subwoofer for, but I don't think these ones came with it, although I'm tempted to, ask somebody up there, if they see it, let me know. I would love it, because they're moving some stuff from Grandma's house here and there. So, but these speakers, they sound pretty nice. I'll demonstrate it with a little sample of Cello String Soft Classical Remover by Zell Tanawi. You guys know this song. They've got bass and treble controls on the front. The bass is turned up all the way on the speaker, but even then, I turned it up a little bit in the computer, so that it has a nice warmth. I mainly did that for my headphones, because they don't have really nice warmth with bass, but it helped with these too. So we have... I'm going to turn it down a bit on the speakers. So there's a little sample of the speakers right there. They sound pretty good. I'm probably going to mess with the bass some more, because tweak it on there on the computer so it sounds good on headphones and on there. Here's the big thing. These speakers do have a headphone port, and that was going to be super exciting, so if I ever needed to, I just plug in my headphones and not bother anybody else in the house, right? Well, actually, wrong, because the headphone port has this weird buzzing noise, which, let me grab something to show you guys. So it has a weird buzzing noise when it's, and that even when the speakers are turned off, it's an electronic hum, and it's, yeah, definitely not usable at all. I mean, you can turn the music up loud enough that it you don't hear it, but it makes them, here's what I'm looking for, makes them not usable. Even more my computer front port, because I do have the option of plugging in down there. The issue with that is if I have any USB devices plugged in, especially when I'm streaming, it doesn't work. It's an awful experience because I can hear the signal traveling down the USB cable into the computer because the audio jack is so close together. Now, one thing I'm suspicious of that I might test at some point is the power supply for the speaker isn't the original power supply. The original power supply is actually the computer. So it uses this double barrel jack cord here. One end goes into the speaker, the other end goes into a plug on the back of the computer. So it does say 12 volts on the back, DC, and I have found a DC 12 volt power supply. And looking online, they were saying 300 milliamps, I think, isn't enough to drive it, although we don't know specifically what. And I tested that. The original plug that I had was 300 milliamps. But this one is now 500 milliamps, so it's more. Maybe it's not enough, I don't know. I mean, it sounds good at the levels that I've had it at, but I'm wondering if that is affecting the port up here, which I'm doubtful. I think they're either just old, or that was me. I'm doubtful that was a thing. So I'm thinking they're just old. Something's going awry in there, some of the shielding or whatever. So they sound good, but then it means that I resort to taking my audio cable and plugging it in my headphones. This is an Anker audio cable I bought on Amazon. Wasn't the best selling cable ever, and it wasn't the longest one either, but I chose it because it was by a brand that I know and trust, and also on the one that was like the best selling, I think was a little bit cheaper too. That one person said, there was positive reviews obviously, but one person said that the tip came off of his, don't remember if it got stuck in his device or not, but I've had that happen with some cables, specifically the GE branded cables from Walmart, which is why I'm using that one now for high quality. So it's not a bad cable. The only thing that makes it troublesome is the way that it fits into my headphones. It is possible if you bump the cable specifically with your finger, you have to get it in there just right. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it is possible. I have given it a slight press with my finger while it's on my head, and it has moved it. So I haven't had issues just sitting here wiggling around, doing my work. It's okay, but it's not like a perfect fit. So these speakers are good. I'm glad that I have them. Thank you, Grandma. I wish that front port was working. If you guys have any ideas that might be an easy, simple fix, because I don't want to tear the speakers open, especially at this time, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in whatever's next.